Isibani means a light. I like that name because the light has to shine to everyone. That's why we're doing this work we're doing, helping people. You know, I like those people who came and opened this, and I was so glad.
Amen. Sivuselele Nkosi Jesu, sivuselele, sivuselele Nkosi Jesu, sivuselele, amen. Sivuselele Nkosi Jesu, sivu.
We started a centre in Winston, and the centre is called Isibani, which means bring the light. Carry the light, and it's come through a need from door to door, finding people coming to you and saying, you know, we've got problems with health, or we can't get a grant, or we've got orphans, or we've got no food, that type of thing. So that's where it started from, like seeing the need out in the community and seeing it was bigger than what you could manage kind of door to door. I came here about 10 years ago through my husband, who was a local guy. Met quite a lot of the local community, local Zulu community, and people would come to me and say, you know, can you help us get to the hospital, or there's somebody really sick, and because I had a car I could obviously help them a little bit. And then it moved on. After my husband died, people were coming to me and saying, look, there's somebody really sick at home, they can't walk. It was before ARVs, so I'd go and try and help where I could with food and just cleaning them up and just being with them, talking to them, trying to support the family. And then a few people where there was nobody to look after them other than their children was to take them home and care for them at my house. So the kind of need has grown and grown from there. The main activities we've got going at the centre at the moment are home-based care that are based here and then go into the community door to door and offer palliative care, prayer, support, just moral support, whatever they need. We do hospital run, so we deal with health. We've got a basic clinic here with a nurse. So she's here most days, plus doing home visits and helping people with adherence, like taking their tablets and that type of thing.
I volunteer at Isibani. I've worked here since we started the centre at Isibani Community Centre, so I've been here for 12 months. And most of my work is around HIV. We do lots and lots and lots of counselling, teaching people about what HIV is, teaching people about their medications, how to stay on their medication, side effects, and anything else that rolls in the door.
Since when we started this Isibani Community Center with Sophie, the death of people of Katani is lesser than before. Because before, we could have buried the people on Wednesday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday. But now it comes not like before. And the people, they love us. And they know that we cannot keep their secrets, because when you've got HIV positive, there is nobody who cannot be point or shout to that you've got this disease, because you are not protecting yourself and what's going on. Because this disease is like, when into the Bible they say, at the end of the world there's some disease who cannot not be treated like that.
We used to help them with the pill box, with those who are on treatment, and encourage them to do some tests, like to test for HIV and TB, because those diseases are very dangerous to our communities.
A lot of our work is advocacy. We take people through to the hospital. Hospitals are big institutions and people get very nervous about going to places like that. People are very poor historians. They don't know how to talk to the doctors. So we act as an advocate, follow them through on any treatments that need to happen. So my work is extremely varied. I do lots of home visits, visiting people in their homes, working from the clinic, being in the hospital.
And then we advise them to take their pills. Even maybe they're going to visit somewhere else, they must have enough pills while they are away from the clinic.
We're just waiting for a letter from the Department of Health to start doing testing and HIV testing and counselling and the adherence training, which at the moment is a big issue because people just don't have the money, maybe 100, 150 rand just to get to and from the hospital, just to get to the point where they can start taking the treatment, which is unrealistic for most people. And then we are slowly starting to do small business microloans, So really supporting people maybe in buying and selling chickens or clothing or a little shop, or so there's a variety of businesses we're trying to support now, getting people on their feet with that. We're looking very small, so maybe 300-400 grand. So we really are looking at the poorest of the poor. So people that have got nothing, absolutely nothing in there. And that's enough to... There's one group of women in Loscott, which is probably about 20 minutes away, and they, I think one was sewing, one was a plasterer, like with plaster houses. Another one I think ran a chicken business. Those 6 women, they're on about their 4th loan cycle. And every loan cycle, they can potentially go up about 100 grand. So these women now are supporting their whole families, up to 10 people. So from nothing, sitting at home, didn't have the money to buy a spade or a wheelbarrow, she's now working 7 days a week if she wanted to, and supporting the family on it. So it actually doesn't take huge amounts of money. And then we also do special needs, which is people with mental illness, mental problems, physical problems. And once a month we pick everybody up from all the farms, handicapped people, and bring them here. And we've got physios and occupational therapists that donate their time to come here that day, and they basically give them treatments. We also get Department of Education, special needs to come in, and they try and help us to place a lot of the kids. We also run a feeding scheme for about 180 families a month. That was actually started by the 5 churches in Katani, and whereby they've got a lot of the farmers and a lot of local people to support that. We make up a food parcel there.
Maize meal, and this is the soup and the tea bags and sugar and beans and salt.
Then we also do emergency food in between, so if people are at home and they've got no one to help them, then we'll help with emergency food. We have a mobile clinic that comes from the local hospital twice a month, and we're more of a facilitator for that as a facility. We also do support people with getting their identification documents and birth certificates, then their grants and their orphan grants, that type of thing, helping particularly a lot of orphans that struggle to get the documents together for them.
I'm Phil Hassett. I've come over from Australia to help the Isibani Centre. They do a magnificent job. I didn't realise exactly what was involved until I came, but it's absolutely amazing. The passion, the commitment of the people here, the team led by Sophie and Christine, the nurse. I'm basically being used as a driver, and there's a big need because the client base of Isibani is fairly large. We have Katani, which is close to the centre. There's about 3,000 people here that we service, but then we do the farm visits, and they are way out.
Just to give you an example of what it's like working in this environment with HIV, there are so many cultural differences in the way people think about health. And for people here, to be unhealthy becomes a spiritual issue. It's not just about the physical body. And if you become sick, often it means that somebody's put a curse on you. And just recently I had an example of a young girl. She's only 21, she's got a 1-year-old baby who had been very ill, started on her medications, got better, and then just decided that the curse was lifted, and so she stopped taking her medication. And so she's been off her medication for 12 months now. And when I found her, she was right back to where she was before, having chronic diarrhea, vomiting, skeletal, lying down, not able to even walk around. And so we really have to start right from square one again, because it's not just about your body. People have to have an understanding that this is about how to live your life in a totally different way. Even though you're unwell, that you can live perfectly well once you're on medication. But you have to have that understanding that this is about life and living. It's not just about taking pills.